What did you say to 035, and why?
035? Is that what you call him? Well, what is it you say when you interact with any old friend of yours? Idle chat. He makes for better conversation than my patience or that stuffed bear. Anyhow, I've been around for a long while, and so has he. It's hard to find someone you can communicate with intellectually, especially with the isolation of my current situation. He's a friend. I have those, believe it or not.
Have you interacted with other SCPs?
Not to any extent. I think you're quite aware of the lack of conversation they all share.
Explain this pestilence and the cure you claim to have.
So many questions of the pestilence. So many assumptions of its relevance to the Black Plague. You inquire so often of the beast that you've spent your entire life staring down. The snarling and snapping jaws that can leap and steal your breath at any given instance. The pestilence I examine is human mortality. The fleshy weakness of your own skin. The cure I provide, lending this fragile shell to the eternity of life after death, safe from the poor decisions humanity is prone to. But in its ignorance, humanity is much like a child, cringing away from the sting of a needle's breach, and the curing vaccine it provides. And like a child, humanity fears the sting of my cure, and would rather wither and decay at the hands of an unpredictable contagion. To fear a disease is simple enough, but to fear its cure is ignorance, and fear is a pestilence even I cannot cure.
Is the great pestilence of which you are referring to the bubonic plague, or death in general?
By my knowledge, you know the plague very well. The one you call bubonic is merely a symptom of a much larger pestilence. For me to answer a question you already know the answer to all too well would be merely gratuitous.
What are the symptoms of the plague, as you call it?
It seems a symptom in almost pure irony would be ignorance. Your counterintuitive behavior slotted against your overwhelming fears. It's a strange phenomenon I've grown great enjoyment out of observing.
When did the plague start?
It's always been here. I've always been here alongside it, fighting a battle long since misunderstood. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Who is your first test subject?
There was no first. It's all an endless cycle of time and existence, Doctor. I heard you. Do your research on the theory of an oscillatory universe. I'm sure you'll find it very intriguing.
There's a certain type of disease that is quarantined in our facilities known as SCP-008, or the zombie plague. It seems to be something you've been using to animate people, but there are some doubts. Is this the great pestilence you were talking about?
Hardly. The great pestilence has taken the breath from the lungs of many more.
Does your cure work on or help other SCPs?
The SCPs, as you call them, are something beyond your understanding. But that's what humans do, isn't it? Secure something they don't even begin to understand.
Is the great pestilence you secretly speak of Ebola?
I would say yes, but I'm afraid the sarcasm would surpass you.
What do you think of the other doctors?
The only other doctor I've seen as of late is you. But in my past, I suppose I've had my share of intelligent interaction with men of science. Nothing too relatable, but it helps to pass the time.
What's the connection between you and SCP-610?
There's no connection, really. I'm well aware that it exists.
What lies under the mask?
What lies under your mask, Doctor? The plaster being you present yourself to others as? The facade you cloak yourself in? Afraid of the monster within? Your inner beast, one of many some aren't afraid to show.
Are you able to remove the plague mask?
I could, but I've come to enjoy this form. I might keep it.
Where did you come from?
I come from the beginning and the end.
How were you captured?
Captured? Implying I was captured is to also imply I was trying to evade. I was curious upon arrival in this place, yes, but no longer. I feel the pestilence surge, like the pulse of a giant beast. Yes, the wave of it, like a crashing tide. I digress. To say I was captured would be to imply I'm being detained. I might play along, but I can roam as I please, show the urge arise, as I've made very apparent.
Do you speak any other languages?
I communicate how your human brain assumes I will sound. Beyond that, my native tongue is beyond your comprehension.
Are there more SCP doctors like you?
There is no one like me, Doctor.
Studies indicated you don't sleep or indeed eat. How?
My body isn't frail and needy like yours. My existence is merely what I allow you to perceive. Nothing less, nothing more.
What are you afraid of, if anything?
I've little time for fear. Its primitive nature providing nothing but a distraction to my work.
What are your thoughts on penicillin?
Penicillin? I guess it's useful.
What is your name?
Oh, Doctor, call me what you like. I've had many names. In many, many languages.
Are you immortal?
Don't be silly, Doctor.
How old are you?
So, what do you think? I don't know. A lot of it just doesn't feel right to me.
What do you mean?
Think about it. The black robes, the like eloquence of his speech, his touch. I really don't know. It all sounds awfully familiar to me.
You aren't saying what I think you're saying, are you?
Like I said, I really don't know.